What's up guys, my name is Ace, and you guys have been asking, or a lot of you guys have been asking for a class setup video, so I haven't done one in a while, so I thought I'd do one today. And I kind of didn't think this through. I actually just prestiged before doing this class setup video, so I decided to just create them in a private match. Because I don't really have everything unlocked anymore since I just prestiged. So this is all in a private match, but these are the ideal classes that I'm using at this point in the game's life cycle. These are constantly evolving, constantly changing, so I don't expect this to be the same classes I'll be using next month, but for now this is what I'm using. So first off, everybody always asks me, what is your AK class? Because I use the AK-12 a lot in my videos. Well, this is my AK-12 class that I use, and this is the one I typically use for going on higher streaks. I like to play a little bit more defensively with this class and try and pick enemies off from a distance. So I have the AK-12, just the standard one. I don't have any of the variants on this class because I only actually have the Wrecker aside from the regular one, but I actually kind of like the regular one. So I like the regular one with extended mags and quick draw grip. I find with the assault rifles, quick draw helps so much. And also, just with the speed of everything in this game, I find extended mags can help quite a bit, because if you have 3 enemies that are coming for you, a lot of the times you can only ever really take out 2 of them, then you have to reload, and the 3rd one will kill you by the time you have time to reload. So that's why I like having extended mags on this class. For perks, we have low profile, blind eye, toughness, and blast suppressor. Now the blind eye, toughness, and blast suppressor, these you're going to see on every single one of my classes. A simple reason for that is toughness and blast suppressor are pretty much a given, especially if you're challenging people at longer ranges, because you don't want to be kicked up at all, so you need that toughness, in my opinion, for an assault rifle class that's designed to be used in a longer range gunfight. And then blast suppressor, that is just something I recommend having on every single one of your classes, unless you play hardcore or obviously the classic playlists. It's so important to have blast suppressor on every one of your classes, in my opinion. As for blind eye, there really isn't a whole lot of really powerful perk or tier 2 perks, so I find blind eye is just kind of the best out of all of them, and it does save you a lot of deaths, especially in domination where streaks are up quite often now. I find blind eye helps a lot. As for low profile, this is where I'm probably going to get a few questions. Why would you run low profile if you're not running a silencer on your gun? Well, my idea behind that is basically I show up on the minimap when I want to show up on the minimap. I have complete control over when I show up and when I don't show up on the minimap in this particular situation. So if I want enemies to come to me, I can shoot my gun and they're going to come running straight for me. And now I can kill them as they're coming for me, and that's great for a defensive class. But sometimes I also like to be a little bit sneaky, or if I'm calling in a score streak or something, I don't want to be popping up on the enemy's UAV. So that's where low profile I find helps me a lot. I only appear on the minimap when I know that I want to appear on the minimap. Now for score streaks, this is where it gets a little bit crazy. I actually have the streaker wildcard on this class, and these are, in my opinion, these are my favorite streaks at the moment for going for vicious streaks. They're a little bit on the higher side, but the bombing run's not too bad to earn in domination. It's pretty simple, and once you get the bombing run, that typically gets you pretty close to the remote turret, and from there it's pretty easy to work your way up to the higher score streaks, up to the warbird. So bombing run, I like running just naked on its own, no modules. The remote turret, I kind of like using the rockets as well as sentry. If you use the regular sentry turret, I find a lot of the times it just doesn't kill people fast enough. With the exo movements, you're able to escape that remote turret really quickly. Like as soon as you start getting shot, you just double jump out of the way, and it's very rare that I ever get kills with the regular sentry turret. Throw a rocket on there though, and a lot of the times they have no chance to react. They just blow up and they're dead. So that's why I like running rockets and the sentry attachment on the turret. As for my 3rd score streak, we have the aerial assault drone, and I like to buff this one up quite a bit. So I like the AI, so it does its own thing while I'm still killing people with my gun. It's got the rockets, which kills people again, instantly. They have almost no chance to react. And then it has the machine gun. Now the reason for the machine gun along with the rockets is, there is a cooldown period, I guess, between rockets. It doesn't just fire rockets at full auto or anything, because that would be crazy overpowered. So while it has that cooldown between rockets, it might kill one enemy and then there's another enemy there. It can shoot that other enemy with the machine gun until it reloads its next rocket. So I really like how that works, and it seems to get quite a few kills. And then finally, we have the warbird. This is with the aggressor, rockets, and extra time. This thing is an absolute beast, assuming your enemies are not using blind eye. And this is why I use blind eye so much, because these streaks are pretty easy for me to earn when I'm playing in a party. When I'm playing in a party, or at least with a couple guys where I know I can play a little bit more defensively, I know the objective is going to be handled and we're going to win the game, I can earn these streaks quite easily, and it would be very frustrating being on the other end of these streaks if you didn't have blind eye on. So that's why I run blind eye. So that's my first class that a lot of people ask me about. That's my vicious class, and it's kind of my go-to class now too. I just find that's how I have fun with the game. I pick people off from a distance, play the objective still, but I try to play smart and methodically. Now we're going to move on to my SMG class. I use this a lot in ranked play, or whatever I can use in ranked play here. Obviously I changed a little bit because you can't use score streaks, but this is the one I use quite a bit in public matches. I'll use this on smaller maps like Comeback, or I'll use it when the enemies are really pushing the objective hard and I know I'm not going to be able to get onto any high streaks anyway, so I might as well just rush around, get as many captures and kills as possible. So I'll use this a lot on Comeback or on Terrace, where there's a lot of close quarters gunfights. Now I do have the Speakeasy ASM1, which is extremely powerful. I think it's actually a little bit overpowered, to be honest, but I have it, so I'm going to use it until they nerf it. It has extended mags built in, which is awesome. I think it's got 67 rounds in a single magazine, which is insane. I can take out like a whole team before having to reload. And then I like the laser sight attachment on this. It has a pretty high fire rate, so a lot of times I will fire as I'm hip firing, and then I'll aim down sight as I start firing. So I go from hip fire to aiming down sight while firing the entire time. And a lot of times I don't even have to aim down sight. I don't have to worry about running out of ammo, so I can spray a little bit with my hip fire, and the laser sight just helps out quite a bit with that. For perk 1, we have Flak Jacket, which is awesome for objective play, and then Lightweight, because I want to be kind of that super fast super soldier that nobody can keep their shot on. I want to be boosting all over the place, jumping around, and I want to be very, very fast. This is why I also have Overclock on this class. This allows me to get to the objective point a whole lot faster, and once I do, it's almost impossible to hit me as long as I'm using my exo movements effectively. My other perks I'm not really going to talk about because I already did. It's the same reasoning behind those. This is one where I could maybe swap out Toughness for Scavenger or Hardline, but I find I don't really need Scavenger because you start off with so much ammo, because you have 3 magazines, I believe, starting off, and each magazine has 67 rounds, so I don't really run out of ammo too often with this class. And then Score Streaks, I just have a UAV with threat detection. I find the threat detection is awesome on this. I'm pretty sure this is what's going to end up getting me my first DNA bomb. I don't have one yet, but once I start running threat detection and system hacks and things, I feel like those are going to contribute a lot to DNA bombs. It's pretty amazing when you can see a guy coming far before he comes around the corner. You can just watch him walk around that corner, you can pre-fire him, and it's just a free kill for you. So threat detection is very, very effective. Sometimes I'll toss extra time on there as well. Sorry, extra time, although it does add a little bit to the score to earn it. Then I just run the standard system hack. I feel like that's more than enough. Don't need to add any more. I'd rather earn this several times and have just the basic one than earn it a few less times and earn like extended time or something like that. And then finally, the bombing run. I can't stress this enough. The bombing run is very, very powerful, especially in game modes like Domination. So I run this on pretty much every one of my classes. So that's my SMG class. Let's move on to this is kind of my balanced all-around assault rifle class. So this one, I actually swap out the assault rifles quite often, so it's not always my BAL class. Although right now I do have the BAL Inferno, just because I'm kind of going for some camos for it. I've still got some camos to unlock, but I use this, I use the ARX sometimes. I'll use just a variety of assault rifles for this class. Sometimes I'll even throw an SMG onto this class. For the attachments, I like running quick draw, stock, and extended mags. Extended mags allows me to deal with multiple enemies very easily, especially with the Inferno, which has an increased fire rate. So I run out of ammo really quickly, so this allows me to deal with like 4 or 5 guys before having to reload. And then quick draw and stock just increases that mobility, increases your time, or decreases the amount of time it takes you to aim down sight in a gunfight, and you can kind of get that split second of an advantage in a gunfight when you come face to face with an enemy. And the stock is just kind of nice with an assault rifle. It's a nice thing to have. Sometimes I'll actually run laser sight with this too, but it really just kind of depends on how I'm feeling. And that goes for a lot of things on these classes. I'll even change some things game to game. Like, it's not going to be these set classes, this entire prestige or anything like that. So just keep in mind that these aren't like you have to copy and paste these classes exactly to be effective or anything like that. By all means, just, I don't know, mix things up a little bit. Use what works for you. Don't necessarily just copy what I'm using, because I don't even use these all the time. Perk 1, we have lightweight, just gives me a little bit more mobility with that assault rifle. I don't find I really need flak jacket in this case, because with a class like this, I don't usually just throw my body on the objective. I usually push for map control, get kills around the objective, and then I'll jump on the objective when it's safe. So that's why I feel like I don't really need flak jacket, and I'd prefer to have lightweight just to give me that bit of an extra mobility. For score streaks, I want to keep the score streaks kind of low, but also I have the warbird that I can earn, because with this one I find I do go on streaks fairly often, not as much as with my AK-12 class, but I do earn the bombing run a lot and this aerial assault drone, and then it's just a nice bonus if I can earn that warbird as well. Now finally, the last class I'm going to show you, just because beyond these classes I pretty much just mess around with anything and I don't even really put a lot of thought into the classes. It's just when I'm messing around with a shotgun or something. I don't really have a set shotgun class. So this one is the laser. So this is the EM1 laser. I like to use stock on it, so when I'm aiming down sight I can be a little bit more mobile because it is a heavy weapon, so you move quite slowly, which is also why I'm running lightweight. It kind of mitigates that slow pace that you get using a heavy weapon. Now, all my perks are the same. I have the blind eye, toughness, blast suppressor, but I also have gung ho. If you're using the EM1, I highly recommend using gung ho because hip firing with this thing is very, very effective, I find. So gung ho is basically a must for me when I'm using the EM1. For the exo ability, we have overclock. Again, that just allows me to be a little bit more mobile even though I have that heavy weapon, so it kind of mitigates that again. Score streaks, again, UAV threat detection, aerial assault drone with rockets and AI. I really like that kill streak because it's pretty easy to earn and it usually gets a fair number of kills. Usually it gets at least 3 or 4 kills for me. And then finally the bombing run, as always. So that's going to wrap it up for my classes. These are what I'm using right now. They're likely going to change in the future. Maybe you want to give some of them a try. Maybe this will help you kind of make your own classes, even if they're not exactly the same. Maybe I gave you a little bit of insight into using certain things and why I use certain things, and it might be a good idea for you too as well. So hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you guys next time.